Welcome back to Bass Fishing Declassified. Today we're going to share with you guys some spinnerbait tips for fishing during the fall time of the year. Randy Blockett and myself are going to give you some tips on how to go catch bass with one of the old reliables, the spinnerbait. Now let's get into it. Okay guys, I'm going to share with you an experience from a fishing trip when I was 16 years old and how the spinnerbait saved us on a tough fall fishing day. And I'm also, if you have watched one of my recent videos on the channel where I caught them with an Alabama rig, I kind of wish that day I would have tried the spinnerbait. And I'm going to share with you why I think if I would have threw that spinnerbait, I would have caught those fish and maybe even more fish. But during that fishing trip, I didn't try it because I just didn't think about it. And that was my mistake. So guys, when I was just getting into fishing, we were having us a fishing day on a lowland reservoir, and it's a lake with a lot of bushes. The lake is flooded bushes. Okay, and we start off fishing the bushes and we didn't get bit. And then the guy I was with, who's a really good angler and I've learned some stuff from, we then went to the creek part of the lake, or there were like 2 or 3 creeks, and we went to the creek and we started fishing the creek ditch in the back of it with these spinnerbaits. And I was thinking, what are we doing? We're out in the middle of this creek. There's the bushes, there's a rock point, and what we were doing was trying to hit logs, kind of floating timber that fell off trees, and then stumps. And I remember him catching a couple, and he was like, hey, throw this, and there's stumps up there, let it get to the bottom, reel it slow. And then all of a sudden I remember hitting one of those stumps. I was like, oh hey, there's a stump, and thump, I got hit, and I caught me a good 2-pound bass. So that's where I'm going to share with you guys is this spinnerbait can catch some of them fish relating to stumps in the back of the creeks right now. So guys, during that trip, we were throwing the Colorado blades that day. Okay, not a big one, but it was a smaller one like this. It's a 4.5 size. This is that 6 size. I'd rather throw the 4 this time of the year, but I know some people like to throw the 6 as well for fish in the fall. And another spinnerbait I like to throw is that War Eagle Screaming Eagle. It's a smaller one, smaller blades, compact, and I think that's great for this time of the year. But one thing about when you're fishing spinnerbaits on the bottom and trying to hit, potential cover like stumps and brush rock, the Colorado blade, it kind of helps you stay in that zone longer. That smaller, compact one, when you reel it, it kind of floats up and gets up faster. So you gotta have to watch your retrieve. Well, with these guys, they kind of stay down there longer to help you stay in that strike zone more. So for me, I do like this Colorado blade during this time of year. So guys, for you, how can you take this to your lake? Well, just think when you're fishing the creeks and you're around the creek ditch, whatever your cover is, stumps, cypress trees, laydowns, if it is rock, it's okay. Don't be afraid to tie on a single Colorado blade and give it a shot. Or just a spinnerbait in general. It could be one you're confident in, okay? As you see, these are the Booyah coverts. I kind of like the different color heads right now. This one has that bright red head. This one has that orange head. I kind of like the different colors because it is fall. Fishing is tough typically, and it's kind of tough because the fish have been pressured and seen a lot of lures up to this point because summer they see them, spring and summer they see them, and now it's kind of fall, they've seen a lot. So I always like to kind of throw a little different first to see, but your shad patterns are still going to work, okay? So guys, hopefully this helped you out, and hopefully you got something from it. Let me know if you have any great experiences in the fall fishing a spinnerbait. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching Bass Fishing Declassified. That is brought to you by Fish the Moment. If you're enjoying today's content and interested in some more options that we offer from Fish the Moment, go to fishthemoment.com and check out our map lake breakdowns. These are done by Randy Blockett, Matt Steffen, and Johnny Schultz. These map lake breakdowns will help you get a head start on your fishing day for different seasons of the year. We also have our virtual lessons option where you can have a one-on-one Google Meet with any of our Bass Fishing Declassified team members. Hey, thank you for watching.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Bass Fishing Declassified. Really appreciate you guys taking some time to join us for today's video. Got a good fall spinnerbait tip for y'all I'm going to share with you today, which is my favorite time of year to fish a spinnerbait. Spinnerbaits, in my opinion, they're the best in the early spring and in the fall. And actually, I catch more fish on a spinnerbait in the fall time of the year with the tip I'm going to give you here today than I do in the spring. Usually in the springtime of the year, I'll catch bigger fish on it, but I definitely catch more numbers in the fall time of the year. And my biggest spinnerbait fish that I ever caught in my life came in November down at Lake Lanier on a little spinnerbait just like I'm going to talk about today, this Megabass SV3. It weighed 8 pounds, 14 ounces in a Bassmaster Top 150 tournament. So you can still catch good ones in the fall, but it's a good way to catch numbers. But anyway, first of all, let's talk about the spinnerbait, and then we're going to talk about the real tip for it as far as how you retrieve it in the fall. By far, my favorite spinnerbait is a finesse model like this Megabass SV3 spinnerbait. This is a fish head design, comes through the water. The fish head design allows you to really burn it fast through the water, and it's got two small willow leaf blades on it. Really looks like a bait fish. This is a really good clear water fall spinnerbait. Now the spinnerbait, there's two elements to the tip I want to give you. Number one is the small spinnerbait, the small natural looking profile spinnerbait that you have to have it set up just right to reel fast. And the second is the retrieve that you use with it. Now in the fall time of the year, a technique called burning a spinnerbait is the number one way to catch them. And burning a spinnerbait is just what it sounds like. It's reeling a spinnerbait very fast, normally close to the surface. And it's almost like you fish it so close to the surface, it's almost like a topwater strike, because a lot of times when the fish hits a spinnerbait burning it, there'll be a boil just like you'll see with a topwater lure. The retrieve is everything on this tip. When you burn a spinnerbait, what you need to do is you need to make a long cast with it, keep your rod tip high, and as soon as that spinnerbait hits the water, you need to push your thumb bar and start reeling. You need to get that spinnerbait going right off the bat. Keep your rod tip high, like at 11 o'clock position, and reel it fast enough where it does not get over like 2 inches underneath the surface. You don't want the blades breaking the water, but you don't want the bait to get very deep at all so the fish can get a look at it. So try to keep the blades maybe 2 inches underneath the surface. Now, when you're reeling it like this, 2 inches under the surface, occasionally you'll see maybe some water disturbance from the blades, and that's okay. You just don't want the blades to break the surface. Keep that spinnerbait coming back just like that all the way to the boat, 2 or 3 inches under the water, and occasionally give like a half turn like that. It gets that spinnerbait will be burning real fast across the surface, and when you give a half turn, it'll just hesitate just for a second and keep going. A lot of time that's when they hit it. Now the conditions involved, you have to have the right set of scenarios. It's best during low light conditions, early and late in the day. Shade is really critical, so look for those shady banks early and late in the day. And if you get a day that is windy or cloudy or rainy, that is golden in this fall time of the year with the burning technique. Water clarity needs to be just right too. You really have to have at least 3 foot of clarity. Ideally, my favorite scenario, if you could give me a perfect fall time scenario for burning, it would have water clarity, 4 to 6 foot in clarity, a windy, cloudy day, and water temperatures somewhere in the 60s. When you have those variables together, guys, it can add up to some of the most exciting spinnerbait action you've ever seen by burning a spinnerbait. So anyway, guys, get you a little small finesse spinnerbait, number 3 blades like this Megabass SV3. Put it on, like I use 15, 17 pound test Seaguar and Vizex 4 carbon line, making long casts and covering water. And my favorite type of bank to do this on is a steep rocky bank or a point. Bluff banks and bluff steep points are number one as far as, you know, this particular technique. But a lot of times you can catch them around grass, you can catch them on flat points. It's just covering water with this technique in the month of October, November, and early December. So hope it helps out. We'll see y'all next time.